Hi guys. Coming to you tonight with some sobering info. Um, not sure exactly. Well, I'm going to start with the timeline of events that we know of, beginning on Thanksgiving Day, and I'm going to go through current. I've got notes because I just have to have notes, but hopefully we can get through this, and hopefully I won't miss any information. What we know is that on Thanksgiving Day, Kelsey was last seen by the public at going into a Safeway with her baby. She had the baby in a car seat carrier, and they were walking into the store. We have footage of that. It's been released everywhere. We don't know. We didn't see her coming out. We didn't see her shopping. We don't know what she bought. But we do know that she was there. She was dressed in a gray sweater, white shirt, blue. It looked like blue jeans and white shoes. Carrying a brown purse, and of course the baby girl. Um, she spoke to her mom that morning, per her mom, Cheryl. She sounded fine. She said she actually talked to her twice, and the reason for one of the calls was actually for a recipe, which makes one think that she was probably going to cook something to contribute to a Thanksgiving dinner wherever she might have been planning on going. Um, but we don't know right now. We don't know what our plans were for Thanksgiving, and I don't know what I'm looking at. Forgive me because my phone is just weird, and I'm having a record on it, and so if I look like I'm just looking off into space or something, I kind of am. I don't know where I should look. Um, okay, so we also know that she had baked some cinnamon rolls and left them on the oven cooling. And then later that day, she met with Patrick Frazee, and they exchanged the baby. Um, again, this was all on the 22nd of November on Thanksgiving Day, and as far as the law enforcement knows, that is the last time anyone had contact with Kelsey was when she exchanged the baby with her fiance Patrick. Her mom did say that she was very happy and that they had a very good relationship, talking about her and her fiance Patrick. Um, okay, so that was Thursday, November 22nd, Thanksgiving Day. 3 days later, on Sunday, November 25th, she texted work and let them know she would not be in that following week, which would be the week of November 26th. And she also sent a text message to her fiance, Patrick. We do not know what was in that text message to Patrick. Um, they have not released that information. Finally, then, okay, so we had 3 days slip by from November 22nd to November 25th. 3 days lost on this investigation. On on Sunday, December 2nd, she was finally reported missing by her mother. Um, I'm going to make an assumption here, I will say, in my opinion, based on the information. I would guess since Patrick and her work were the last people that heard from Kelsey, I would guess that her mother had been in contact with one or both of them, and that would be how her mother found out that, that, okay, maybe that's how the next week flew by without any information. And then when December 2nd came around and her mom had still not heard from her, her mom reported her missing on December 2nd. So from November 22nd, the last day she was saw, till December 2nd, we have 11 days lost that she was missing, and anything could have happened, sadly. I'm just praying, hoping and praying, and yes, I pray. I pray. I do believe there's a God out there, and I have friends who don't. Um, they send well wishes or positive thoughts, whatever. I send prayers and positive thoughts and well wishes. It's to each his own. Um, on Monday, December 10th, there was a press conference held. Um, at that time, she was simply a missing person. Um, There was not a whole lot of information given at that police conference. Oh, where's my notes? We did find out at that press conference that Kelsey, excuse me, I'm sorry, Kelsey is a pilot. She's a flight instructor, in Colorado, and so there was a question if maybe she had hijacked a plane and taken off, but all planes are accounted for in and around that area. So that's not, they're not concerned about that as of right now. She has two vehicles, and as of the time of Monday's press conference, they were both at her house. Um, they said the reason that it took so long well, let me back up a second. On Thursday, December 13th, they had a vigil for Kelsey. I have not seen any footage of that. Somehow I've missed that. I have not seen anything, so I can't really report anything about that. But on Friday, they had another press conference. And on Friday, the chief of police said that a search warrant was signed on Thursday, and that as of Friday, they were actively searching Patrick Freezy's residence and ranch. He has like 35 acres of ranch land, and they were searching it, and he was not allowed on the property during the search. He was taken from the property in a SUV that had sheriff on it. So he was taken away in a sheriff's office SUV with the baby in the back seat. And there's been a lot of speculation on whether the grandmother has been able to see the baby. And according to the press conference on Friday, she has not been able to see her grandbaby. It just does not sound good in my opinion. I am 100% hopeful that Kelsey will be found. I am really not liking, in my opinion, I think the behavior of her fiance is questionable, at the very least. Why was she missing for 11 days and he didn't send in a missing persons report? If she lived, I'll try to, maybe I'll go into that at the end of the video. I have a lot of questions I would like to ask him. So the search warrant was signed on Friday, and they began the search, excuse me. I'm sorry. When asked if Patrick was cooperating, the chief of police said he was communicating through his attorney. It was also learned that Patrick has many family members who are members of law enforcement. So I'm sure he's been strongly advised not to talk without counsel. And really and truly, I mean, if you're suspected of a crime, yeah, I mean, if that was my child, and I have a 29-year-old daughter myself. If that was my child missing and I knew something, there is nothing that they would have to find out from me by going through my attorney. There's no links I wouldn't go to find out any information I could find out if my daughter were missing. Even if it were one of my friends, I mean, anything in the world I could do to help, aid in the investigation, I would do. But now I've never been accused of anything like that, and by saying that about my daughter, I'm not in any way saying Cheryl's not been cooperative at all, her mom. I'm not saying that at all. As far as I know, she's been as cooperative as she can be. And my take on the situation is that the police are trying to hold, well, everybody involved in this investigation seems to be trying to hold their knowledge as close to the vest as they can get it. They're not wanting stuff to get out there that could hamper the investigation. He was taken off the property via a sheriff's vehicle. There was a red truck also towed off of the property. And I read somewhere that the truck was seen around Kelsey's house on Thanksgiving Day, and that they had been searching for the truck. But it also seems to me like one of the videos that I saw showed Patrick getting into a truck with his daughter, getting into a red truck with his daughter when the media was trying to question him. So I'm assuming it's his truck. Um, but yes, it was hauled off. But the chief would not comment on who that truck did belong to. Um, one of the reporters asked if Patrick did any traveling after he saw Kelsey on Thanksgiving Day. And the chief's answer was that's one of the questions we hope to get answered during the interview. Um, I think I've already said him and his daughter were taken via SUV to the police department. If you notice, one thing I've noticed, and I guess it's from being a mom and a grandmother, like when he got into that truck with him trying to escape the media, he had the baby, and he just climbed into the driver's seat with that baby in his arms, and I'm thinking, okay, where is her car seat? And now I'm like, okay, I know he went. I mean, I didn't see him drive off. I'm sure he buckled the baby in. Also, I think about her riding in the back seat of that SUV to the sheriff's office, and I, it bothers me that he's toting that baby with him everywhere. He's not letting Cheryl, Kelsey's mom, see the baby. What about his mom? What about some of his family members? Why is someone not taking care of that baby and keeping that baby out of the spotlight? I don't understand why that baby is stuck to his hip, and that bothers me. Like, if I mean, babies feel the tension, babies feel things. And yeah, she's a resilient 1 year old. But we don't know what all goes on in a brain. But we do know that, like I said, kids sense things. They know when things are not right, and she just needs to be cuddled and loved, and to me, kept out of the. I don't know why she's going to the sheriff's office. Um, but like I said, that's me. Um, let's see. When asked if Patrick Freezy was a person of interest, the chief said they were considering every possibility. My answer is, yes, he is a person of interest. If, in my opinion, if they are at his home doing with a search warrant, doing a complete search of his home and his ranch, he is definitely a person of interest. And the chief said they were considering every possibility. They have called in, the Teller County Sheriff's Office is working on it. The Teller County Search and Rescue, the DA's office. They've called in the Colorado Bureau of, I'm sorry, guys, Colorado Bureau of Investigation and the FBI. So the CBI and the FBI. They have now asked Patrick to sit down with investigators and talk to them. The DA was present at the press conference on Friday. He was not there on Monday. And he said that the purpose of this case and this investigation was to find Kelsey. He's asking for any and all info, anything that might not even seem of any significance from friends, family, neighbors, anybody that might have been out walking a dog, walking a cat by Kelsey's house. Not walking a cat, yeah. Okay, yeah. Um, Anybody who may have gone by there and may have seen anything, they're asking if you have any information to please let them know, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem. The DA's name is Dan May. He did mention, and I thought this was interesting, considering all these days have gone by. Let's see, we're now on December 15th. So if 11 and 13, 24, is that right? 24 days have passed at this point. And his comment was, the investigation is in the very early stages, and it is highly complex and active. So it's not as simple as, it seems like, complex. If something's complex, it's not simple. So I don't know it's evidently multifaceted. There's a lot of stuff going on. The reason they have not already searched the home and the ranch is they had to have probable cause to do so. As of the press conference on Monday, they did not have probable cause. As of as of Thursday, they did have probable cause. The judge signed the search warrant on Thursday. They said it will take a number of days to search the house and home. I heard somebody say 3 days. And he said the reason it took so long to search the home, other than, they had to have probable cause, he said there were a number of reasons that it took them so long to get the search warrant. They did contact CPS, and CPS sees no need to take the baby from Patrick at this time. And there was a this is the news that I don't even want to give, and I hope it's in some way a coincidence. I hope it means nothing. I hope it's part of the search and rescue that's been called in, or I hope it's maybe an old picture. I don't know, but evidently a neighbor of Patrick's drove by and took pictures of the property while they were working, and took a picture of a backhoe on the land. And that was posted in a Facebook group. Somebody did put a link to another group that looked like a news station had posted an article about it, but I clicked on it and I looked, and it was basically the same pictures. No, I take that back. There was only one picture, and I think the picture was of a backhoe. The backhoe was seen, though, parked beside a church building. So there's a lot of questions surrounding the backhoe, and I hope it's just happenstance. I hope it's something strange, and we just want to see Kelsey come home. I don't want to speculate on the other end of that at this point. I wouldn't mind being an interrogator in the room with Patrick Frazee at this point. I might actually enjoy that. But like I said, I have a 29-year-old daughter. So I can just, it's heart wrenching. I can't even imagine what her family's going through, what her mom's going through. It's just horrible. If you will, if you know anything, especially if you have something that you can back up, if you want to comment in the comments, I would appreciate that. Anything that we can discuss. I hope to have enough subscribers soon that we can go live and have a live discussion on some things. I just wish there was something I could do to help. But the main thing I know to do is to help is if anybody hears that lives anywhere around there and saw anything in the world, even friends and family of Patrick, anything, or if they knew anything beforehand that they think might be significant, please reach out and let someone know. Thank you, and I appreciate your time. I appreciate you watching the video, and hopefully my next one will have some happy news. Have a blessed weekend. Bye bye.